Hello again, traders. Right, loads of scalps this morning, but I've been in and out too, so no time to make videos about them. But got back from a little walk, had a lovely swim before the sun came up. Really, it was just like a hazy red glowing thing. Mornings are getting later now. Obviously, days drawing shorter, which is sad, but there you go. But oh, the water was gorgeous. Anyway, I digress. Apologies. I wanted to make this video quickly because more and more now I am relying on all sorts of weird and wonderful observations, nuances on these indicators. I mean, you've got to remember, you can discount indicators because you might say, well, that one worked, and that one, look at this going up, it's gorgeous. That one worked, and one didn't. That one maybe didn't work, it reversed or whatever. But, you know, when you get, this is an H1, so this is H4 chart down here. When you get these big changes of color on the H4, look at that, it's just exploded. I mean, they don't all explode, but it'll be down to what time that candle closed. But the point I wanted to make also is that they just show momentum has come into the market, you know, on this H1 close and so on and so forth. This H1 close, even though it's below zero, it shows you everyone's looking at that candle close. Something happened during that bar, that candle. And as such, because I'm scalping and trading candle closes more and more now, we can, you know, we can just observe the 1 minute chart and find a long or short scalp from that momentum close. And, you know, you decide whether you want to go long if 2 or 3 time frames have all gone green. You decide if it looks a bit risky because of all the different other reasons there are. So, you know, I'm teaching, or I'm finding and sharing, rather should I say, numerous new ways to find trades all the time. And as I keep saying on my Twitter feed, the more ways you can find to trade, the more times of day, it isn't high risk or over trading or all that sort of stuff anymore. It is, for me, it was always about the more ways I can find trades, the less stress I've got finding one trade at one particular time of day. Or, you know, there are still traders out there talking about, oh, only trade, don't trade Mondays, don't trade bank holidays, don't trade this, don't trade that. Trade anything that moves following your rules. You know, Christmas Day, Easter, they all have fantastic 1 minute scalps. So making up silly rules for yourself, and I'm as guilty as the next man about trading. Making up too many rules not to trade is wrong. Making up or finding new ways to trade is right. It's a no-brainer, isn't it, really? But there are so many idiots still out there writing books, reading books that were created 40, 50, 60 years ago. And the rules they cooked up then shouldn't apply with all this new software that we've got. So anyway, sorry for the preach. This was a no-brainer trade long. Simple thing like this now. This is a trigger to go long. I'm already long, so that helps me decide whether I should take profits early. I'm already out of this, by the way, 99% flat. Take profits early, or hold, or this is the new big thing at the moment, add. And I'm leaving minuscule runners on so that it reminds me, because it's so easy to get distracted. You noticed in my videos I get distracted easy. It reminds me that I've analyzed this on 4 or 5 time frames already. I've looked at weekly charts and so on and so forth, like in the gold situation, and I am waiting for potential new entries, and they must be perfect. They must not be, you know, it must not have a few grey TMA bars here, because, you know, like this, it's telling me all eyes are off it now. There's not really much power to the long side. Stay well clear. But if this turns green after one bar, and you know, these are all three are green, we've just come across the zero line. Admittedly, well, it is M15, that's strong. No, this is actually, sorry, this is H1. So, you know, another good time of the close, say, what are we now? 10 o'clock. That's the H4 close for FX. So that's a bad time to be looking for continuations, in my opinion. But you know, never say never. So whereas I used to say look for reversals at the H4 close, yeah, you can, but you can look for reversals and longs, and get all your multi-time frame ducks in a row. So I have gone totally off topic. The whole point of this was just to remind you that if one of these, like this thing, turns green after, you know, 4 or 5 4-hour grays, then it's highly likely that we should be looking for potential long, and we're above the zero on all the other time frames. So you know, I don't want to be looking for shorts, let's put it that way. Same goes for gold. We will have a quick look at gold. Been analysing that most of the morning. H4 turned green. Let's have a look at the weekly. You won't be able to see it behind a lot of my rubbish indicators at the moment, or lines rather, should I say, my rubbish on the chart. Big weekly candle. I mentioned that in the previous video. Often means a pullback, a reversal, or whatever. They've done the pullback. Wasn't particularly deep. It would have been a perfect trade. Sell opportunity. If we look at M15 there, nice. That's a nice trend. And all the usual stuff, 3 CRs down and whatnot. We're below zero here. So when that arrow, red, green, red. So red, green, red. But I'm not awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. The trigger was about 3:30, 1:30 in the morning, 2 hours difference from my broker's time. So I'm not, you know, I just have to write those opportunities off. But it just goes to show there's opportunities in every market scenario, Asian session, all the different sessions. But back to the point now, all these new thoughts, these, you know, it just used to be, this was the only thing on my chart. RSI bust, pullback, break and close. You know, there's a really interesting one there. I would have drawn, because you remember I always say look left. That would have been wait for the close above that. Where did it actually happen? I know you think it's all hindsight stuff, but there it is. And then you watch the pullback. We know we get pullbacks, and then you wait for the perfect entry to go long, and everything else agrees with it. And that's an H4 chart. But really and truthfully, now what I'm looking at is this H4's gone green. This next H4 is high momentum. If we get a green bar there, that will be even better. But what I do like, and this again, this is another instant observation that I can't just put in pictures. I want to be looking at these low, below zero, above zero. Pullback, continuation. So, as I've said before, rather glibly, is that I could trade these things on their own, and I think I could, because I believe them so much. You know, we should only be looking for longs there. That's what that tells me. I don't have to draw a multitude of trend lines. I don't have to have moving averages on the charts. All I need to know, and we can see this is an uptrend anyway, and when that point there is a pullback to, well, no, that trend line hadn't been drawn. It would have gone through that first trend line. So I don't need moving averages. I'd rather draw instant trend lines, then I'm focused on it. You know, you can become indicator blind, in my opinion, much the same as I'm indicator blind to this thing. You know, if you believe the person that created that, you're only supposed to sell when it's red, below the open line, and buy when it's above. Well, that doesn't make sense to me at all. But it's nice at a glance when you're on, a time frame that you haven't got this huge ascending trend line on. Say, for example, you trade in M5. It makes you think, well, at a glance, we're below I can't see the open line, but we're below the daily open line. There it is there. And there is a train of thought that says if we're below the daily open line in a downtrend, then we sell. If we're below the daily open line in an uptrend, we should buy, because price will naturally try and find the daily open line. You know, I didn't understand that until only recently. So 20 years into this, and I'm still learning new stuff all the time. Pivots, you should only really trade when you're above the daily pivot, up to R1, R2, R3, etc. But you know, you can't believe those things without doing the analysis. Don't even know where the pivots are on this one today. There, we're above the daily pivot. We should only be buying, really. So simple rules like that. But you know, you can't trade them blindly. We are in that big H4 uptrend. We have that massive previous week's green, so you know we could be in a pullback, as I said. But all of these, this is now. So that H4 is what's happening right now, and the fact that we're in a green H4 is what's happening right now. So that tells me I'd be an idiot to try to short it. My US 30 is underwater at the moment, but as I said, it's only 1% left on there. And the way I look at it is, when I'm looking at this is a potential to get in cheap, which I love. So learn to love your losers. That was a saying once, I think. Love your losers. I don't know why. I don't know what the logic was, but I could apply it here. I've got my runner. Love my negative runners. That's the new saying. So LNRs. Love negative runners. LNR. Yeah, nice one. All right, thanks for watching. Sorry for the long-winded babble, but you know, this is a 1, 2, 3 high low. This is a 2B reversal. This is just a pullback against the main power. You can see the weak, you know, all green, 2 red, all green, 1 little red. You know, it's not something, it's something to educate you and keep you focused. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day.